Travel along, Catholic pilgrims, as we read letters from the voyages of St. Frances Cabrini as she traveled around the Western Hemisphere sharing the good news of Christ. Welcome to another voyage, Catholic pilgrims. So Mother Cabrini got to Panama at the start of June of 1895, and she is already leaving in October of 1895. Where is she headed? Over the Andes Mountains and on to Buenos Aires, Argentina. That sounds like some serious traveling, and consequently, this voyage has a lot of information in the writings. She's not just out on the open ocean waiting to get to port. So I think we are going to get a real deep dive into some very interesting experiences. Today's reading is like a pep talk to missionaries. Are there difficult parts? Yes. Are there scary times? Yes. But all that a missionary does is worth it. Bringing souls to Christ is worth the difficulty and scary times. So let's start this voyage by turning to page 145. Panama down the Pacific and across the Andes to Buenos Aires, October 1895. 12th of October, 1895. My dear daughters, peace be to you, and may you repeat often, Omnia possum in ioque mi confortat. Della paget del costato, quanto è larga l'apertura, ivi il porto è preparato. Lungi, o figlie, ogni parura, sto alla verge afferrata. Presto a porto sarò entrada. Of the wound in the side, how wide is the opening. There the port is prepared. Away, O daughters, all fear. I am clinging to the Virgin. Soon I will have entered the port. What a long voyage, what a hard voyage Mother is undertaking at present. Such is what I hear you say, whilst I detect the sadness and fear depicted on your faces. I believe I am the calmest amongst you all, and I am, really so, as far as my voyage is concerned. Jesus still lives. Mary, the Mother of Grace, is always my most tender mother, because she is the mother and foundress of our institute. It is Jesus and Mary who have always seen me through thousands of difficulties, and will they abandon me now? No. I shall never do them such an injury as to mistrust their power and protection. During all the 16 years the Institute has existed, they have done everything for me. They have accomplished everything wonderfully. If sometimes things were not so successful, it was because I acted too much on my own initiative. When I left the work to them, I had nothing to regret. I go forward then, as tranquil as a child reposing in its mother's arms. In that safe ship of the Sacred Heart of Jesus, I go to fulfill my mission. Holy obedience and the blessing of the Holy Father accompany me and remove all fears. I fear nothing, repeating continually my motto, Omnia possum in ioque mi confortat. I can do all things through Him who strengthens me. The wind roars, the heavens darken, the treacherous waves arise and beat against the steamer. Everything turns topsy-turvy. We are threatened with a terrible tempest. All this matters nothing. I have given my trust. I must keep my word of honor, and with faith and confidence, I hope, with God's grace, to go on repeating, Omnia possum in ioque mi confortat. We are missionaries, O daughters, and the missionary should never shirk from difficulties and dangers, but rather, confiding in Jesus and resting on Mary, she will overcome all difficulties and escape dangers. Difficulties. What are they, daughters? They are the mere playthings of children enlarged by our imagination, not yet accustomed to focus itself on the omnipotent. Dangers? What are dangers? The specters that surprise the soul, which having given itself to God, or thinking it has done so, still retains the spirit of the world, or at least many sparks of it, which fly up from the ashes and flare at every gust of contrary wind. It is necessary, dear daughters, to invest ourselves with the true spirit, to live a life of true faith, lively faith, and not to deceive ourselves and the grace that is always in us. In holy baptism, we solemnly renounce the world, the devil, and the flesh. But we must prove that renunciation by our daily actions. When we entered religion, we said, I am crucified to the world, and the world is crucified to me. But such a promise should not be a mere empty saying. In reality, we should live as if we were people of a holy nation that belongs no longer to the world. When we took the crucifix of the missionary and became more generous in the service of God, we said, with the impulse of the ardent soul, I shall be happy to shed my blood for Jesus Christ, and will welcome the blessed day in which it shall be given to me to suffer something for the holy cause, for the salvation of souls and the glory of God. Sublime words! And who would be false to such an oath made by so courageous a soul? O daughters, let us meditate profoundly on the sublimity of the state which God has called us, that of working for the salvation of souls. In the presence of such contemplation, we can never shrink from our promises or lose courage, if only because of the judgment and reasoning of the world. But I am weak. With God's help, we can do everything. He never fails a humble and faithful soul. But I am so fragile. If you are humble and constant, God will be your strength. And having been made strong with the strength of God, what shall we fear? The devil is terrible, but he is like a chained dog. He cannot disturb you or hurt you without God's permission. Therefore, a humble and faithful soul need have no fear of the devil. I have failed in generosity. I have fallen at the first temptation. Now I shall not be able to do anything well. Have you fallen? Then humble yourself, and with a lively act of contrition from the depths of your heart, ask pardon with great humility, and renew your promises to God and those who represent Him. Then be up and doing, with more courage than ever, to repair your defects. That's all for today, Catholic pilgrims. Please forgive my poor pronunciation of the Italian language, and Latin for that matter. That tomorrow we will hear about the actual details of starting this journey. And until then, live the faith boldly and travel well.